Hi, my name is Luka and this is Humber News. Today I'm here with Fallon Hewitt, Telegraph Journal reporter from New Brunswick. How are you feeling about the upcoming federal elections?
I'm feeling okay, a little bit unsure about what's going to happen. I think in the 2015 election, I was definitely more sure about, or definitely more, I guess I had a better idea of what the result was going to be, or an inkling of an idea. This time, I feel a little bit like things are up in the air.
How would you say politics generally affect your day-to-day life?
I would say, I guess the interaction of federal and provincial politics. Living in New Brunswick, we receive a lot of transfers from the federal government. So that would be health transfers, transfers that work in the social programming. So as a reporter, I see the impacts of those transfers on a day-to-day basis, and then as a resident with the health transfers, I can see how that impacts healthcare for myself. And then aside from that, I think that's like the biggest part in New Brunswick. And then also we have a federally instated carbon tax as well. So that does impact my day-to-day basis.
Right. What would you say are some of the most important issues to you, and whether or not they're being fairly represented by any of the upcoming candidates?
I would say some of the most important issues to me is one that came up last week in New Brunswick. There was an abortion clinic that announced that it was going to be closing due to their abortions not being funded and by the provincial government. But because we receive health transfers from the federal government, and it's actually breaking the law, so that's one thing that I've been looking at to see what candidate is going to hold the province accountable for breaking the Health Canada Act.
Okay, and what do you think about how the country has been governed by the current administration?
I think there's definitely been some missteps. There's some lots of things that were never done that should have been done, such as electoral reform. Not every Indigenous community has clean water yet. That was never brought forward. There's a lot of things that have been done that have been questionable, such as ethics. SNC-Lavalin was definitely a sticky situation. Um, I think there's been a lot of really good things that have happened. There has been, a significant amount of people taken out of poverty and lifted up out of poverty, and the data does show that.
Being a journalist yourself, how do you think media outlets are influencing and making an impact on people's opinion regarding the elections and the candidates? And has it made any specific efficient impact and change in the perception when it comes to you?
I think some media outlets do a better job than others. I feel like media outlets that hold people accountable and do fact checking when
Mhm.
during debates or during campaign rallies. I think those are very helpful. But when journalism, like when outlets aren't doing that kind of stuff, things can get very sticky with misinformation. So I think some places do it really well. The National Observer's quite good at that. Um, I know CBC has people that are strictly on fact checking right now, which is
Mhm.
excellent. And I think just having a reporter on the campaign trail and with politicians is something that's helpful. That holds them to accountable every day. They're asking questions every day, like they're doing their best. But there's definitely cases where they don't do the due diligence, and things get a little bit messy with misinformation. A lot of people don't have excellent media literacy, so they might not totally understand.
All right, we will continue our conversation after the elections happen in order to discuss the results and its outcome. But for now, thank you so much, Fallon, for joining me today. It was Humber News.